I remember in 2009, it was $26 million for the project, right?
Yes.
And then by the time you guys, the former government spoke about it in 2013, 2014, it was 40 million.
Yes,
so
yes.
that was
those
to
numbers-
accumulate the wind pressure
Yes,
and
yes, yes,
the machinery,
yes,
the
yes.
equipment, the turbines and all
Yes,
that.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
to make it work
Yes,
properly.
yes.
Which means the 10 million
Yes.
maybe came on because of that.
Well, the 10 million could have been further increases, but we would like to know about it. But I'm glad you're recalling that initially it started out at $26 million, and then even in our own time it grew to $40 million over those years, and now it is $50 million.
So it's like we had a $14 million increase.
Yes, nearly 50%
over like a 5-year period.
Yes.
And then now we have another
$10 million. I think that some of those, as you say, had to do with the wind regime not being of the strongest and steadiest wind flows, and so the design had to change you had to come up with a design to meet that.
During an exclusive interview with Nightly News, former Prime Minister Samuel Hinds took the opportunity to point out the opposition's stance on the recent decision by government to conduct discussions with the Guyana Wind Farm Incorporated on the implementation of a $50 million wind farm at Hope East Coast, Demerara.
You want to get into nitty-gritty because...
Yes, the details, it's always, the devil is always in those details, always in those nitty-gritty.
The former administration had said in the past that the establishment of a wind farm has been 20 years in the making. Moreover, during June of last year, Mr. Hinds, who was then Prime Minister with responsibility for electricity generation, was optimistic that the project would become a reality. However, following an announcement in June 2014 highlighting the former government's support to the project, silence prevailed.
It would translate to a higher unit cost of energy, higher cost per kilowatt hour.
So wouldn't that maybe perhaps explain why the figure is now $10 million more?
It is possible.
Despite this fact, Mr. Hinds questioned the increased cost stated by government. Back in 2009, former President Bar Jagdeo announced that the establishment of a wind farm was no longer feasible since Guyana hadn't the wind power required. Mr. Hinds explained on Tuesday that because of the low wind power, additional equipment was required to make the farm functional. As such, Mr. Jagdeo thought the additional investment in the wind farm would have resulted in the cost per kilowatt hour of power from the wind farm prohibitive. For HGP Nightly News, I'm Erica Williams.